Hello, good morning, good afternoon, wherever it is you're listening from. So welcome to the course so this course is going to be specifically for people that are looking to start a career in privacy and data protection. So this is a privacy and data protection career accelerator course. If you are looking to launch your career in privacy and data protection, this course would be 30 plus hours and it's going to be led by several experts, including myself, and it also involves hands-on training. So why should you complete this course, or why should you enroll into this course? First of all, it's free. It's going to be completely on YouTube, available for anyone who wishes to learn. It's going to be practical and hands-on with privacy workflows, and we're also going to be touching on tools that are very beneficial to you in your work life, or that would be beneficial to you in your work life as soon as you start working as a privacy professional. It's also going to give you exposure to real world use cases and case studies. Also, with this course, you would also master GDPR, UK GDPR, CCPA, and other global laws that you are going to use as a privacy and data protection professional. We are also going to offer you, for those who go forward, we are also going to offer interview preparation and career guidance for privacy roles. We also have a custom mentorship. We provide mentorship from experienced professional and privacy and technology professional. So for those who move on to the next stage, which you can contact us, we are also going to set you up with some mentors that are going to guide you in your field or in your career development as a privacy professional. Also, for those who decide to enroll for the personal course, or for the course which is not available on YouTube, which you can get access to by contacting us, we are also going to provide you a certificate of completion from SPIDAC. Also, with this course, it is going to be pathways to roles such as privacy analyst, privacy consultant, privacy engineer, and data protection officer. So who is this course for? Like I mentioned, right? This course is for people who are aspiring privacy professionals that want to launch their career in privacy. So you could be coming from any background. It could be a technical background, business background. It really doesn't matter. Privacy is for everyone. Also, this course is targeting early career professionals. So those who are still in their early life and just want to transition into privacy-focused roles. It could also be for compliance professionals. So if you're already in the compliance sector and you are looking to kind of focus more on privacy, right, or learn more on privacy, then this course is for you. If you are also a tech specialist, so you could be a software developer, a security expert, and you need to learn how to integrate privacy by design into your work, then this course is definitely going to help you. Also, most importantly, for fresh graduates that are looking to learn skills that are in high demand, and also fields that pay high salaries. In the earlier video, I made a quick explanation of roles in privacy and salaries. So feel free to check my previous video. Now, for those interested in custom or personalized training where you also get access to certification and mentorship, then please reach out to training@spidac.com or check our website, which you can see on the screen is www.spidac.com/training. And please drop us a message either in the YouTube comment section, or reach out to us directly via our email if you want access to certificate and also mentorship and custom training. But for those who are not interested in certificate, which is completely fine, this course is also available for you here on YouTube. So I'm just going to go through our course content. So some of what we'll be going through in this course First of all, we are going to start with an introduction and history of data protection. In this section, we'll understand the origin of privacy and data protection laws, and we'll also touch on some of the key drivers that have shaped modern frameworks like the EU, like in the EU, like in the UK, US, Africa, and even in the Middle East. Next, we are going to talk of key concepts, key privacy concepts. We're also going to touch on something that is called FIPS, Fair Information Practices. We're also going to identify other core privacy principles that every privacy professional should know. Then, we are going to go to principles of data protection and technology and some terminologies. In this session, we are going to understand essential terminologies, like definition of personal data, what is a personal data. We're going to understand processing, concept, consent, some of those core privacy and data protection terminologies. Then we'll touch a little bit on business advantage of embracing data protection. Then we'll talk more in depth on the personal data and the data life cycle, so understanding how data moves starting from its first stage up till the end state of that data, right? When that data either gets retired or gets deleted. We are going to touch all those phases and see how privacy kind of applies to them. Then we would also touch on a concept called lawful basis for processing, which is kind of also tied to record of processing assessment, record of processing activities. Then in this section, we are also going to explain, the 6 lawful bases under most of the global laws, global privacy and data protection regulations that are available. Then next, we are going to go to, we'll touch on GDPR fundamentals. We'll also touch roughly on UK-specific GDPR. We'll touch on the concept of controllers and processors, identifying the core difference between both. Then we'll talk on processing of personal data and legitimate basis. Then we'll go next, which is the last topic for this session: information provision obligations. We need to also understand, concept like transparency. What are the transparency of obligations that companies have towards data subject. We are also going to touch on, instances of when, or how to recognize when, as a company, you need to contact your regulator to either inform them of a data breach or inform them of, let's say, a data processing that you have, which is high risk. I also just want to mention that although I'm mentioning this content or these topics on a high level, when I go into explaining each of these concepts, I'm going to explain them in simple terms, right? So the background that you're coming from really doesn't matter, as I'm going to be explaining this concept with the intention that you know nothing in privacy. Then in part 2 of this training, we are going to be touching on data subject rights, the right to access, right to portability. Then we're going to touch a little bit on security of processing and a little bit of introduction to information security, which is very important, right? Because you cannot have privacy without security. Then we are going to touch a little bit on data breach and notification, how to recognize a data breach, what are the notification timeline. We're also going to talk or touch on incident response, how to respond to an incident, what are some of the best practices. Then we'll touch on risk mitigation and data protection impact assessment. So what most organizations tend to do is that they look at privacy from a risk point of view, right? So as a privacy professional, you need to learn and understand how to identify risk and how to mitigate that risk. And I think most importantly, how to communicate that risk to the business. Then we're also going to talk of accountability principles and some of the governance systems that are used in privacy. Then we'll touch on the role of a data protection officer. I'm sure most of you must have heard of the term data protection officer. We'll touch a little bit on that. Next, we are going to go into privacy tech and some governance tools. We are going to have a look at some of the tools that are used in privacy tech. It could be, compliance tools like Excel. It could be Power BI dashboard. It could be tools like OneTrust. We'll also touch a little bit on privacy enhancing technologies, which are very, very important concept that every new professional should know. Then we're going to have a little bit of practical demonstration, hands-on, and discussions. So the demonstration will be demonstrating tools like OneTrust, Privado, and some of the tools from some of the commonly used privacy tools. So that the mid practical session is just to make things fun and give us some kind of hands-on experience into most of the concepts which we have discussed earlier. Then next, we are going to go to international data transfer, understanding, some of the mechanisms that are used for international data transfer. Then next is regulatory model and major laws worldwide, which we are going to be comparing. We are going to look at the EU model versus the US model versus other regions. We are also going to compare some laws like the GDPR, CCPA, LGPD in Brazil, PIPEDIA, PDPA in the Middle East, and some other laws like the NDPR in Nigeria. Then we are also going to talk about supervision and enforcement. We are also, then finally, we are going to close this training with case studies. We are going to look at some of the failures and success. We are going to look at issues or cases, failures from companies like Meta and how they've used some of their failure, right, to kind of improve in their privacy. We are also going to look at the case with British Airways. We are going to generally identify some examples of how they communicated with regulators and how some of those issues were kind of resolved, and what are the best practices, right, or what are the lessons that that companies like this have learned from some of the breaches that they had. Then, as a bonus, we are going to talk a little bit or touch on compliance in HR, HR specific data, marketing specific data, outsourcing, surveillance. So we're just going to touch on this real quickly, right, to kind of understand the high level best practices, and as a professional, what you should do if you are in situations where your organization is processing this type of data. Lastly, but not the least, we are then going to look into some emerging topics in privacy like AI, privacy for AI risk assessment, biometrics, children privacy, and so on. So we are also going to touch on this briefly because as a privacy professionals, these are all important concepts and topics that you should understand very well. Then lastly, we are then going to close this session by, we are going to close this training by looking at standards and frameworks. We are going to look at standards from ISO, the NIST 27701, OWASP. So we are generally going to have a look at that, right, to understand some of the standards and frameworks that are in privacy. So if these contents that I've just explained or I've just listed, if you find them valuable and you think they are going to be of help in developing your or in starting your path as a privacy professional, then please continue this video. I am going to try to release video at least weekly. I could do it probably twice weekly, but I'm going to do it weekly so as to make sure that it's even easy for my viewers to also follow. So you're going to have these videos released to you weekly. Lastly, for those who are interested in getting a certification and also mentorship directly from professionals that are in the field, please drop us an email to training@spidac.com or visit our website on www.spidac.com/training. Thank you very much. Please drop any questions or concerns or any feedback that you have for me in the comment section. Thank you.